As a gamer, you know how playing games can really boost your brain, especially with memory and attention.
But did you know how important a nutritious diet is for your brain?
Today, 1 in 3 African children under the age of 5 experience chronic malnutrition.
That means their brain will never fully develop.
Help us raise money to help Africa's young children become excellent gamers. I have donated. Have you?
Hello everyone, good morning, and thank you for joining us at the UNITLIFE Gematrix live stream. My name is Cholo Shabukali, and I'm the co-founder and managing director at Team Gematrix. So here today, we're going to take some time away from just the genuine gaming doing that we do, the genuine live streams or gameplay that we do on our platform or the tournaments that we host. And really, we want to talk about a topic that really affects our community and young people within the community. And we'll be having a Gaming for Good talk about malnutrition and nutrition and just raising awareness within our community about the challenges that are affecting us. So join with me today. I'm joined by some great, amazing people who are doing great things within the global community, impacting the change around promoting awareness for chronic malnutrition and nutrition around the globe. So I'm joined here with Yua Zong, and I'm also joined by Elisa Sis. And what we're going to be doing today is really just talking about this, and I'm going to allow them to really introduce themselves. So here I'm joined by Yua. And Yua, I'll allow you to really introduce yourself and what you do within Act for Change, Act for Food, and how you're really impacting change for us.
Thank you so much, Chole. I'm Yu. I'm so happy to be here to join the discussion. It's really, I feel really honored today. So I am the program coordinator at Good Food Fund in China, and also one of the youth leaders at the global campaign, Act for Food, Act for Change. So Act for Food, Act for Change is a campaign to really increase the engagement among young people to take part in food system transformation. And malnutrition or nutrition has always been one of the most important topic when we're talking about our broken food systems. So I think this should be a topic that everybody, especially young people, to learn more about, and just to have discussions like ours today is really important, and we need to have more of this. So one thing about our campaign is we provide a platform or a pathway to really collect our voice as youth and present it to the policymakers at the United Nations Food System Summit this year. And it's actually happening very soon, in a couple of weeks. So I think the policymakers, they need to hear our voice. And as youth, we have a lot to say, and we have our voices and demands. We would like to see some feedback from the policymakers. So in turn, we will take actions as well. So I think the process is really important, and we need to be able to take part in the process and, just to have more discussions. Yeah.
All right. Thank you so much, Shiva, for that introduction. And it's really great that young people are really taking a stand against this. And it's important that a lot of us in the community are aware of the challenges that are affecting us at the core level. Next, I'm going to have an introduction to Elisa Sis. She's the community and advocacy specialist at UNITLIFE. So, Elisa, you have the stage to introduce yourself.
Thank you, Charlie. Good morning, everyone. So first of all, thank you very much for giving me the floor, and I'm really excited to be here as well. So my name is Eliza, and I work with UNITLIFE. And UNITLIFE is basically a new global initiative hosted by the United Nations that aims to solve the challenge of inequality from birth. So basically the challenge of chronic malnutrition. So we're going to have more time to talk about it, but just briefly, chronic malnutrition is a disease that affects children during the first 1,000 days of life. So, like basically throughout the pregnancy of the mother, and then till they turn 2. And it's a disease that they get or that develop when they don't get the right nutrition for the development of their body and their brain. And so we're exactly like in the topic today, talking about food, talking about nutrition, talking about access to food and food systems. So I'm really happy to be here, and I'm also really happy to be here with you, Chole, and to be here with you as well, Yuha, as I think that our different, let me put it this way, like words kind of complete each other, and that it's by basically at UNITLIFE we strongly think that it's by building a community that we can actually address this issue.
Yeah, thank you so much, Elisa, for that introduction. Yes, so you heard it from her. And also, I'd like to also explain a little bit about chronic malnutrition. I'm sure most of you are wondering why a gaming community like ours would be really interested in raising awareness around this. Well, what we have learned from Gematrix is that during the first 1,000 days of a child's development, it's really critical that they have good nutrition because it affects their ability to learn, to develop, and even to their brain to have the possible connections to have developed talents that will impact their general growth in future. So which means that most kids wouldn't be able to, after the age of 5, really experience what you and I really experience today, which is the love and fun that we have through gaming and how we connect with everyone. So I believe that it's important for us as young people to really take a stand. We are the future generation, and the future impact that we have would be relevant to impacting awareness. So I'm going to get into the first question that we have I'll give it to you because it talks about food systems. So so I was going to ask you, malnutrition, nutrition and food system development. Could you start by defining these themes and how they're connected? So malnutrition, nutrition, food systems, and development. So just help us understand how all these are connected.
Yeah, sure. So I'll speak on food system first, and probably Elisa could talk about a bit more about malnutrition and nutrition. So basically, food system is activities from the input of agriculture to the consuming of food products. So basically, it involves everything during the whole process. And currently, our food system contributes to 1/3 of the greenhouse gas emission globally. And also, we have a lot of problems regarding malnutrition. And actually, I just learned the fact that 1 in 5 children are affected by some kind of malnutrition. That is a very shocking number, and we don't necessarily see that in everyday life, but that is very true, and that is happening all over the world. So it is something that if we don't know, then we wouldn't be able to speak on it. So I think we have to have more outreach and have more discussion on it. Another thing is we always have this misconception that development should sacrifice our environment. However, that is simply not true. And we have to look at development in a different lens. So, like we have to developing within the planetary boundaries, and we have to really understand what sustainable development really is. It is about, finding balance. It is about reconciliation between us and the nature. So, and also we have a lot of we have malnutrition, but actually we have overnutrition and undernutrition at the same time. So we have a lot of obesity, we have a lot of people who are fed with unhealthy diet, with too much unhealthy diet, and at the same time we have people go to sleep hungry. So I think today's food system is obviously problematic and is obviously broken. So the transformation is just much needed at this point. They're definitely interconnected in a very meaningful way. And actually, in this year's UN Food System Summit, nutrition is the first action track. So the first action track is actually ensure access to safe and nutritious food. So it is definitely the centerpiece of our food system, and we really have to get this problem fixed as soon as possible.
Yeah, thank you for bringing that up and really also giving us more examples about it. To be honest, it actually brings me to one point. I'd really like to also hear from you on why chronic malnutrition, which is our next question, why chronic malnutrition is so important and yet so little is known. Because to be honest, from my perspective, I hadn't even learned or known much or anything about chronic malnutrition prior to my conversations with Elisa. And when we raised awareness through a campaign earlier, could make the connection around it. That's when I really got to have an idea about how serious this issue is and really try to do what I can to be a part of the movement. So I'd like to understand from your point, what do you think? Why is chronic malnutrition so important and yet so little is known? Why is so little known about it, despite it being so huge a challenge?
Yeah, thank you, Charlie. So maybe just to complete what Johan was just saying, the food system is indeed broken or has to be improved. And as he was saying, food system is basically everything from the food that is being produced to the food that you get in your plate. And so the entire challenge is basically making sure that everyone can access affordable and healthy food. And chronic malnutrition is basically, as I said earlier, is basically this disease that develops when children and mothers don't have access to this healthy and nutritious food. And it's very important because it's during like this first 1,000 days of life, so until we turn 2, that's basically where most of our that's the stage of life where the development of everyone's basically like of our brain, of our body, of the immune system is the most important and the fastest. And so if we don't get those nutrients, so all, like the vitamins, the minerals, the proteins, like all what we hear about, like when we talk about healthy nutrition, then the consequences on the development of our brain, our bodies, and also our immune system will be basically irreversible. So it's really like this. It's the window of opportunity is very short, and we really have to make sure that everyone can access to it, because it has tremendous consequences on the life of a person that is chronically malnourished. So it's someone that will have more challenges at school, like to learn, and also like later on more challenges to get a job. It's someone that will fall sick more often because the immune system will be weakened, etc., etc. And it also has an impact on the economy of our country. So in some countries, it can actually have an impact of it's like some calculations and so on that were made. But basically, undernutrition can have an impact of up to 16% of the GDP, so the gross domestic product of the country. So it's huge. And as you had just said, so it's 1 in every 5 children worldwide that are affected. It's 1 in every 3 children in sub-Saharan Africa. And with the consequences, the effects and the impact of the COVID pandemic, there's already like 5 million children, like an additional 5 million children that are affected. And the reason why it's little known, it's because it's actually not visible. as I said, it's mostly like consequences on the brain's development and also on the immune system. So those are things that are not visible. In terms of body, it's basically a consequence. It's what we call stunting growth. So it's basically children will be like, and people affected will be like smaller. But there are a lot of reasons why you can be smaller in height, right? So you can't. So it makes things like more difficult to see and to address, and unfortunately when something is not visible, it usually gets also like less visibility and less attraction, so it's also like less known. But with you and with this kind of platform, our objective is also like to make it more known, so then it can be addressed, and we can get like more investment to actually fight it. And yeah, and we have this also like this opportunity with the forthcoming United Nations Food System Summit that has nutrition at the top of the agenda. So I'm hoping that good and robust political decision will be made. Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that, Annalisa. I really hope that we can actually have the change we're looking for. Just to also let everyone know, so chronic malnutrition affects about 30% of children around the world, and about 45% of children in Zambia are affected by chronic malnutrition. And what's scary about it is that it's irreversible after that age, critical age growth period. And so it's important that the future generation, the young people, are more aware about this. So that as we start our families, as more children are brought into our communities, we're able to raise awareness and promote good nutrition in our communities. So I also wanted to ask another question. What is the link between chronic malnutrition and the food system? Could you really help us understand that point?
So as I mentioned, food system is broken, which means good food, which is healthy food, safe food, affordable and accessible. So good food is not accessible at the moment. I actually believe that good food should be a basic human right, which means everybody shouldn't be worrying about getting enough food and getting enough nutrients. However, that is not the case, as we just mentioned. So chronic malnutrition is born under this kind of circumstances. So I think we should tackle this. So I guess that is the link from my perspective.
Thank you. Thank you so much for that, Onua. And then in our conversation, we have mentioned, the forthcoming Food System Summit at the United Nations. So I know we've mentioned it during our conversation, but could you really elaborate more so people could understand what the forthcoming Food System Summit at the UN is about and what we can expect to see there?
Yeah, sure. So basically, you may have heard about the 2030 Sustainable Development Goals. So in the previous years, we have different kind of topics on this annual summit. Previously, I believe we have biodiversity, we have climate action, and this year it's food system transformation. So basically, in the summit, all the member states, a lot of policymakers, businesses, industries will be joining this year's summit. And after the summit, hopefully we can have some kind of coalition. Actually, during the pre-summit in July, which is held in Rome, there has been some coalitions being addressed, such as a nutrition, fighting food waste and food loss, and promoting agroecology. So these are all topics or actions society as a whole can take actions in. So in the summit, hopefully we can have more coalitions like this, and we hopefully to see a lot of commitment from the member states from the governments, from different businesses. That way, we can really have the transformation getting started. And also, this year's summit it's called People's Summit, which means everybody should be taking part in. And one way they're doing it is through it's called dialogues. So all over the world, we have a lot of dialogues being held by all kinds of organizations or even individuals or communities. So this way we can have we can have more open discussions about how we can transform our food system and how and perhaps we can come up with some solutions that would also be presented on the summit as well.
Nice, nice. I'm really looking forward to this summit because I think it's a chance for us to really get our voice heard on a great platform where so many people from around the world who have real impact in our communities can really hear our voice and hear what we have to say about how we want to fight this challenge as well. I want to hear why the both of you got involved with this, with trying to raise awareness for this. Personally, I got involved after Elisa contacted us because I feel it's something that all of us as young people should really, really do something. Even in our small capacity, we have to kind of bring to the table whatever we can in raising awareness. And I'm really happy to do my part in the process to raise awareness within our community in Zambia. So I want to hear, Yua, why did you get involved in this? Why did you get involved, really?
Yeah, sure. So I personally have a background in business, in startup, and in management. So, but I like during my university years, I actually had an internship. I worked for Green Party in New Brunswick, Canada. So that is when I start to realize how important sustainable development is and how important supporting local community is. So after that, like after many years of studying, and I always have that kind of seed in mind, to contribute in sustainable development. So after I graduated, I joined a food company where they produce functional foods to support, to provide those kind of products to local communities. And at that company, I interacted with many people from the farm to the customer. So at that time, I really learned how food can be a cure to a lot of problems we're having, especially not only health, not only our personal health, but also it actually helps, like a good food system actually helps fighting climate change. And as I just mentioned before, food system contributes to 1/3 of the greenhouse gas emissions. So if we can really, and a lot of that is coming from the production of meat and agriculture. So there's a lot of things we can do to change that fact. And I'm just happy to find an opportunity with the Good Food Fund, and also, just join the actual food actual change campaign, because we know China, although they're doing quite well in terms of cutting down greenhouse gas emissions, things like planting more trees, promote and develop renewable energies. But food system is something has long been neglected. So that's kind of why I joined what I'm doing right now, just to raise awareness among the people who don't know about it.
Yeah, thank you so much, for you and your contribution to this challenge and really raising awareness within the community. I think it's really noble of you to go down this path. I know it's challenging really because a lot of people are not aware. So it's like you're speaking into a dark room and trying to get everyone to see the light. But thank you so much for your contribution so far. Also, Elisa, I'd like to really understand what really got you to get involved into this personally.
Sure. So I have to say, so I've been working within the development field for now like almost 15 years. And I have to say that when I joined UNITLIFE, so like a bit more than a year ago now, I didn't know about chronic malnutrition. And I was really surprised because, I kind of felt that I had, kind of a good idea of the different sectors in terms of, or the different development challenges. And I think I just got basically very interested and very, I want to say even like kind of passionate in a way in terms of the importance of nutrition for development, so for our own development. So like imagine like if we say that there's like 1 in 5 children worldwide that don't have access to the food that they need to actually develop properly. It basically means that 25% of people worldwide from age of 2 won't have the capacity to reach their full potential. And it's crazy. I mean, it's like it's a huge number, and it's even like higher in some other countries, as you said. Like it's 45% in Zambia. It's almost like 1 in every 2 children that won't have from to the right the capacity to reach their full potential. And this just kind of because of food, and just because they didn't have access to the right food, and because the importance of nutrition is not known enough by a lot of people. So you have, if you're lucky enough, like your child is kind of followed by when you give birth, you have like like a pediatrician, well, a child doctor that kind of accompanies you, right? And that gives you that tells you the kind of food that what food should be given to the baby, so then it can develop properly. But if you don't have this information, you just you can't, you don't know, like you do your best and you can't do it. And if you don't have access to the food because it's too expensive or just because it's not there, it's the same. So I think it's really something that should be put at the center. Nutrition as a development issue is being talked more and more about it. It's been neglected for some years, but now it's kind of going to the top of the agenda, so which is a great thing. But I also think it's important, really, like for everyone to know about it, not just because of chronic malnutrition, but also because of all the different kind of malnutrition that you have. So the chronic malnutrition, acute malnutrition. Johan was talking about obesity. Obesity is also linked to poor nutrition. So I think nutrition is really has to be better known, the importance of nutrition. And I think that's kind of the reason why I got so much involved, and that's also why I'm so excited to be here today and to have been able to collaborate with you, Chole, and with also like other gamers, because that's really something like a word that we need to spread, and that's really like an information that needs to be put out there. And I think that's something where everyone can feel rely to, and everyone can should feel concerned and can contribute in a way.
Nice.
So thanks.
Nice, Elisa.
I'd like to add on to that.
Yeah.
I think everybody is kind of shocking when they heard of the fact that 1 in 5 children are affected by malnutrition. So I think that's good, because nobody would be like in denial, and everybody, like I was really concerned about those children. So I think that kind of sentiment is very relatable. And today's day and age, we still have people who are suspicious about the climate change, people who don't believe in that, and people saying it's not my problem. But I think when you're talking about malnutrition, especially chronic malnutrition, there are children who are not fed properly, who doesn't have the proper nutrients during their first 1,000 days of life. I think that is something nobody would deny, and that is something everybody really feel deeply concerned. So I think the next question, like from those people who hear the fact that the problem about chronic malnutrition should be, so how do we fix this? So I think this is a very important topic and a very urgent one. So I feel like this should be the number one priority. And it is also shocking that we don't have as much attention as we wanted. So today's like discussion like this should be held more and more, so that everybody can really help.
Yeah, I agree with you, Yua. And also, one thing, I'm going to get to some comments so that we can see what people have been saying. Okay, so we have a comment from Cindy. So she says, I remember learning in the nutrition lectures that there's a difference of recommended breastfeeding period related to regional conditions, e.g. in the EU. In EU, the recommended breastfeeding is 6 to 12 months, while the suggestion for African countries might be longer. I'm wondering whether this is the common practice and feasible for the mothers in Africa, generally speaking. Would Elisa or you be able to add on to that?
Yeah, I'm gonna. First of all, I would like to say I'm no expert, right? I'm not a doctor. I'm not a nutritionist. What I can tell though is that indeed the recommendations can vary from one region to the other, from one country to the other, for different reasons. One reason it's because when you don't breastfeed your child, you tend to also give water. Now, the quality of water, depending of the region, can vary a lot. So you have, I mean, there's a lot of countries where basically the quality of water is too poor, and you might so not good enough for the child. And then the other reason is also like the quality of the food, or the quality of the milk that you can give your child. So that's the reason why that kind of vary from one region to the other. But I would, of course, tell people to follow the recommendations of their doctors or the WHO or whatever other health carer that they have. As I said, I'm no expert, but that's the reason there's some differences from in the recommendations. Thanks.
All right, thanks, Alessa. I hope that helps answer your question, Cindy. We also have a comment from Theo on YouTube. He says, I love the diversity Gematrix and big ups to UNITLIFE. He also has a question saying, I personally love this conversation because I'm a nutritionist and I know how shocking malnutrition can be in children less than 5 years. So a good thing is a number of us are getting more aware about this challenge, which is good for us. If there are any more questions, guys, please let us know. We have another comment from Kofi. He's watching from Senegal, West Africa. So keep it coming. And Cindy says, thank you so much for answering the question. All right. So one more thing. I'd like to know why should we be concerned, and how does this impact us? Like, why should an everyday person like us really be concerned, and how does this impact us? Would you like to expand on that?
Yeah, I mean, as I just mentioned, it is very relatable. Although a lot of us may not have experienced or know this, but like it's there. And when it comes to children, they're our future. So I don't see any reason why we shouldn't be concerned, because personally, I think there is no denial or objection from people that those children. I mean, there's just no way that those children should be not fed enough nutrients. So, like I just said, the reaction from the people who heard this message should always be, how do we fix this? And whether it's through donation or whether it's through different kind of financing, it has to be addressed, and I personally don't see why we shouldn't be concerned, to be quite frankly.
Really, for true. Okay, so then Elisa, would you also like to expand on that?
Yeah,
Well,
sure.
before I get the comments.
Yeah, sure. No, I really think that's something that we should all be concerned about, because it's also, as I said, it's about the individual. So, but it's also like about like the development of the country, because it also has an impact on this earlier, as I mentioned. So, because you have some countries that can be impacted up to 16% of their GDP, and then worldwide, it also has an impact of the economy as well. So it's kind of linked to 1%, but it also like impact are kind of global. But what I also would like to say is that there are also solutions. Like we also know like how to fix the problem. So fixing the problem is, unfortunately, there's no like kind of quick fix. But to link it to what Yua was saying as well as like earlier, is like rethinking the food system. So UNITLIFE, for example, in the way that we intervene, is looking at the entire food system and seeing like how we can grow more affordable food, how we can grow food that is also climate or drought resilient, how you can grow food that also or sensitize or raise awareness about the different nutritious or good nutritious of local food as well. So then people don't think that they just have to that you just have to import food and so on. You import food and so on. And it's also like for us, it's also like a lot about like empowering women and empowering women mothers. Sorry. So then they also have the mean to feed their children better. So there's I'm sure you've all heard already like about the studies where basically when you empower a woman, the kind of return on investment, or the woman is more likely to invest back into a family or a community. And so by empowering one woman, you kind of empower like five people from the community, like including children. So that's the kind of actions I want to say that we should look at to actually solve the problem, because it is solvable. Thank you.
Nice. Thank you so much for that one, Elisa. We have a question on Facebook from Kofi. He says, how can gamers engage with this campaign and have more impact spreading the message?
May I take this one?
Yes, please.
Thanks. So in terms of gamers or everyone, basically, I think the most important is to spread the message. So you can do so by sharing. So, for example, UNITLIFE social media messages. So you saw like at the beginning of the event this video that Chole was participated to. That's also a video that I think it's quite cool and quite nice, and that you can share. You can donate, as also like mentioned by Yuha before. I think there's a lot of different ways that people can support and spread the word. What I would like to add as well is like I'm not sure Chole when if you will be showing it, but basically we're also going to be launching a new campaign that is more that is kind of hijacking the video gaming universe and codes, and we will be launching this campaign on the 27th of September. So just basically on the heels of the UN Food System Summit, to kind of keep up the momentum, to kind of continue spreading the word and raising awareness about it. And so obviously we'll be really happy that you also support the campaign and share the messages of the campaign. I think it's really right now the most important is really sharing the word, engaging your network, your community. And if people want to do things, they can start by donating. They can support the Act for Food, Act for Change pledge. There's a few options that are out there that we will be happy to share. And you can also like reach out to UNITLIFE if you have like any specific ideas or things that you would like to do. Thank you.
Nice, thank you. Kofi also adds on. He says EcoBank is in 33 countries in Africa. how will UNITLIFE teach gamers who use EcoBank money transfer to donate for this global fund on nutrition?
So basically through the campaign, through this Make the Connection campaign, the people so you can donate when you go on the UNITLIFE's webpage, but also like if you go on the EcoBank Foundation and on the EcoBank pages, you can basically donate there. So you have like a QR code that you can scan if you are already if you already use EcoBank Pay. If not, you can use like some other platforms to contribute, to donate. And we with this specific Make the Connection campaign, we have been working with so French-speaking gamers and also like English-speaking ones. So Charlie was in the English-speaking video, obviously, and that's kind of how we've been engaging with the gamers. I hope that answers your question, Kofi.
Yeah, I think that answers it. Hopefully, Kofi. Then there's a quick question that I missed from Henry. He says, these are serious effects on the brain. Are there any other measures you are planning on taking to help raise awareness?
Yeah. So we basically, so first of all, we are planning like a few other events with hosted by gamers. So something similar to what we're doing now. We are also like we also have like a few campaigns. So to Make the Connection campaigns, actually participate to another one that will be launched on the 27th of September, as I just mentioned. And then we also try to do work with some media. But we use mostly like social media because the reach is a bit is as wider, as you know, and we really try to engage people like as much as possible. Then so that's what we do like at UNITLIFE. But then in the different projects that UNITLIFE finances, there's also like an important component about raising awareness, like for targeting the communities. So where basically, so I'm just gonna give a quick example. You're welcome. So I'm just gonna give a quick example where basically in a project that we have in Niger, so basically the implementing agency or the partner agencies that we're working with is basically doing a lot of raising awareness activities. So like, kind of dialogue circles with like women and with men, but also they also have like an SMS campaign with a phone provider, and they also do like a lot of a radio show in local languages, so then people can really like hear about nutrition, hear about the importance of nutrition. I hope that answered the question. Thank you.
Yes, thank you so much, Alyssa. You'd like to add that?
Yes, yeah, sure. I'll add on to some of the points Alyssa just made. In terms of raising awareness, I believe UNITLIFE has collaborated with our like ACTFORFOOD, ACTFORCHANGE campaign. So basically, in our campaign, we have a pledge and we have a vote. So if you go to actionsforfood.org, there is a pledge. So as a young person, you can pledge to contribute to like make personal contribution to transforming the food system. Things like you can pledge to never waste any food. You can pledge to buy food locally. So those are the things you can pledge to. And also we have a vote. So in that vote, we have 17 actions for change. And one of them is ensure access to safe and nutritious food. And I think this one has actually received the most votes at the moment. So you can go to there as well. So all the votes will be, so the top 5 votes, the top 5 actions for change being voted will be presented on the Food System Summit. So that is also a way to help raise awareness as well. And also the first question from Kofi is how to spread the word. So I think in today's day and age, we have so much information online we have to consume every day, and everybody have their own interest in different kind of topics. I'm not entirely sure how gamers would be interested in this kind of message, but it's really important to have that narrative and to show the vulnerabilities and to show the we don't want came across being disingenuous. And I think that is the problem with media outlets a lot of times, is that we consume so many information that we don't really appreciate. So to be able to spread the word and to be able to affect people, I think the message is very clear and it's very strong. So everybody who heard the fact that 1 in 5 children are affected should feel concerned and should relate it. So when you spread the word, just be genuine. And this is something that I truly believe that people would relate very well in an internally level. So yeah, just be brave and talk about it. And people, yeah.
I agree. It's important to be very genuine and very human about it, even as you are approaching raising awareness within your family and within your community for this challenge that we're facing. We have a question from Davison. He says, what's the connection between chronic malnutrition and gamers? Maybe Alyssa, you'd like to expand on that before I also contribute?
Sure. So I think first and foremost, for gamers, the idea is also like to leverage on gamers and their community to spread the word. So basically, having gamers as advocate as well to raise awareness and to inform about chronic malnutrition. Now, the link between chronic malnutrition and gamers and gaming is more about the fact that chronic when people are affected by chronic malnutrition, they will have, as we mentioned earlier, like their brain is less developed, so they won't be like they are more likely to have difficulties like playing per se. Plus nutrition, we also I think that's something that was mentioned in the video that we showed at the beginning. Nutrition has an impact on gaming per se, as it has on work and so on, just because when you have a good nutrition, you are also more likely to concentrate, to focus more, to be more to be quicker and so on, to be less tired. Like nutrition kind of impacts like all our daily life as well, so including like gaming. And Charlie, please continue. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that one, Alyssa. So as I'm contributing to that question, I'll show a comment from Kofi. He says, with 2.5 billion gamers in the world, sure they have impact. They have the power to spread the word and impact. Yes, I agree with you, Kofi, on that one. Well, for me, it also comes to the point where we need to think futuristically, even as we approach everything, whether it's climate change or this sort of challenge, chronic malnutrition, because it affects us whether we want it to or not. It affects someone we know or someone within our community, in our countries, in our global community as well. The fact that it's irreversible, the effects of it are reversible after a certain age, should be really concerning. And also the fact that it happens within the first critical days, 1,000 days of the child's brain development, where it potentially also affects their ability to learn, stunts their growth, and affects their talent development. And that's the key word, the talent development. So even the possible gamers or the possible contributors to our economy through gaming would be lessened, despite the growth of technology and the general growth in the world so far. So really, it's about us protecting our future and doing right by our future as well. Okay, so I hope that answers the question. I'm also going to get to some questions real quick that have just popped up. So we have a comment from Kwesi. He says, hello everyone, Kwesi Hayford from Ghana. Great to join in this conversation. Hi, Kwesi. We have a comment from Kofi again. He says, exactly, good food is important for performance in competitive gaming, like in sport. Yes, exactly. Because even though people don't want to realize it, gaming is really about how great you are mentally as well. That really impacts the effects of how you can have good performance in gameplay, whether it's casually or professionally. I've got another question. Oh, and Dabi says thank you to us, Elisa, for answering the question. The next question we have, okay, Cindy is back. So I remember that one of the key topics of UN food system is to generate game-changing solution. This can be a link to the answer. What can a gamer do? Gamers are creative and energetic after all. Would you like to add on to that, Elisa? Or are you okay with it?
No, I mean, I think it's a great comment, and I think that so the UNFSS is also, so the UN Food System Summit is also the People Summit. So it's also about really like everyone being mobilized and engaged. And yeah, and Cindy, you're completely right. Like gamers are creative and energetic, and they also have, you know, like their network, their community. So I think as a gamer, the idea is also like to spread the word and to raise awareness, and yeah, and I think it's pretty cool that already gamers are doing that like Trolley. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
And to dive a little deeper on that sentiment, I think gamification is also something we can get out from the gaming communities. So at that point, gamers don't necessarily have to only spread the word, but also think about solutions to how we can fix the problem and gamify. To gamify some of the processes are really helpful for our generation, for the young people, because we love playing games, and gamification can really help to bring out more awareness and bring out more engagement as well.
Okay, thank you so much for that, Manure. And also, guys, we've just posted a link to the page, so you can go to ACTFORFOOD.org and sign up to the page as well. We also have a link to the UNITLIFE website, so you can go there and see the best you can do with the contributions as well to the donation. And also, as we are looking at the next comments, let me see if we have any comments. Are there oh yeah, we have a question from Victor. Are there more campaigns centered around this discussion? Elisa?
Yes, there are. I mean, I can tell you about what we are doing. So UNITLIFE and also Act for Food, Act for Change. But there are also like some other organizations that are also like working on it. But I think I might be mistaken, but I think in terms of collaborating with gamers about this specific issue, I think we're the only one doing that. And we're obviously like really excited about that. But for now, you have so if you are looking right now, like for example at campaigns, content to share, it's either like from what I know, it's so you would have like the Make the Connection campaign. You would have this campaign that we will launch on the 27th, and then you would have like some content as well from Act for Food and Act for Change, leading to the UN Food System Summit. I hope that answered the question. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much for that one, Elisa. Also, Victor says that he has done his part and shared the stream. All the best. Thank you so much, Victor. Yes, thank you so much for that one. So yes, I agree with you on that point as well. I think it's important that we also remember that the demographic of gamers is very energetic, as Cindy also pointed out. and we are really tech savvy. So I think we should really use the assets that we have as a generation to really spread the word better and faster, so that a lot of us are more aware of this situation. It's actually scary that I wasn't aware of this before I talked to Elisa, and I would have probably gone on with my gaming life and my general life, not knowing about these effects on our community. But thank you so much for highlighting that. Also, I think we've pointed out everything we need to point out, but I also like to just highlight the last question I had. Maybe we could just reiterate on what we should do. Like, what are the next steps that we could do so far? Oh, no, before that, sorry, we have a question that's come up. Okay, so Kofi says, don't hesitate to collaborate with me. I am a gamification certified consultant. Thanks, Chole, for this great conversation. Giving Gematrix esports team a great leadership in East Africa. Oh, thanks so much, Kofi, for that one. So yes, bringing me back to the question that I had, what are the next steps? What can we do next right now?
I think that for me, there's like three main steps that one might want to take. So you have the Act for Food pledge that you have mentioned, and that you can just see the link on the website now. If you want to do more. Okay, no, let me start from. So you can share the word, right? So you can so spread the word. You can share this streaming, and it was just mentioned by one of the comments earlier. You can talk to your like your family, your friends, your network, and so on about food system and about chronic malnutrition. I think that's the first thing. Then if you want to go a bit further, you can sign the pledge, the Act for Food Change, and then if you want to go a bit further, then you can either you can also donate to UNITLIFE as well. So then we can finance more projects on the ground. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you so much for that one, Elisa. So guys, we'll be sharing the promotional ads for the next campaign that UNITLIFE will be running. It's a teaser, and please look forward to it. We'll be also sharing with you the Make the Connection campaign that we had done with UNITLIFE and EcoBank, and that will be able to give you an idea of the highlights that we are really fighting for with this challenge and raising awareness as a community. So now that we are almost done with our session, I'd like to really get any last remarks or feedback or encouragement that you have for our community as we continue to raise awareness within our Zambian community. So I'd like to hear from you first. Any last remarks?
Yeah, sure. So for those of you who joined today's discussion, I'd like to say, be the change of the world you want to see, and just be the change you want to see in your community. So voice out in your family about the problems you're facing, and just take action yourself at first, and gradually you will be able to affect the people around you, and step by step we will have a community that is willing to take actions, that is understand, that has the knowledge, and that is willing to get educated on transforming our food system. So it all starts with you, and just be brave and go ahead.
Yeah. So thank you so much for that one. We'll be brave and take it to the next level. As gamers. We have a comment from Brian. He says, hello, Chole. Hi, Brian from Kenya. We also have a comment from Mwanji Usuma. Great initiative. Thanks, Mwanji, from Zambia. Brian says, beautiful talk. Thank you, Brian. Please spread the word about the awareness around chronic malnutrition for us. Share the link, and we'll put up the links to the UNITLIFE and Act for Food campaign pledge so that you can also do that. Next, I'd like to hear, Kofi says, thanks guys for this great panel. Thanks Kofi for joining us from Senegal. I'd also like to hear from Elisa. Any last remarks, contributions that you have to encourage our community as we continue to raise awareness in the region?
Well, it's difficult after you has very positive words. But yeah, no. So first of all, thank you everyone who is following today and who has been also already starting sharing the link to this event, but also some of the other things that have been done. I think it's as you have said. I think the idea is we all have to start, and we all have to be brave enough and make this first step. And take this first step, and if you are particularly interested in fighting chronic malnutrition, feel free to reach out to us. We always answer our messages and so on, and join the community, and I think it's only together that we can really tackle this disease. Thank you.
Thank you so much for that one, Elisa. Thank you so much for highlighting that. Also, we've got Silishewo Tevele. He says, thank you for sharing the information. You're welcome. Please share the word with everyone in your network and community. We need to raise more awareness about this because the numbers are really scary. Also from me, I'd like to say thank you so much for everyone for joining us today on this panel discussion and session. Really, I think it's about us using our platforms and our position within our communities to really communicate how best we can raise awareness and impact this challenge and create a change for a better future in our communities. So yes, we have done it as Gematrix, and we are trying to do more, and we hope that this inspires you to also raise more awareness in your communities about chronic malnutrition and how we can beat this. So look forward to the UNITLIFE campaign coming up soon. We're going to share the ad teasers within the link shortly. And then also, please don't forget to head over to the ACTFORFOOD.org and to sign the pledge. We can do this all together as long as we're united, but it all starts with you as well. Then we also have the UNITLIFE.org platform link. So please head there and donate if you can. Every donation counts. So thank you so much for joining us, guys. And we hope you have a good one. Take care, be safe, mask up, and see you in the lobbies of Apex or Fortnite, whichever you like. Thanks, Yua. Thanks, Elisa.
Thank you, Chole.
Thank you.
All right, bye.
Bye.
As a gamer, you know how playing games can really boost your brain, especially with memory and attention.
But did you know how important a nutritious diet is for your brain?
Today, 1 in 3 African children under the age of 5 experience chronic malnutrition.
That means their brain will never fully develop.
Help us raise money to help Africa's young children become excellent gamers. I have donated. Have you?